SuperTalk Mississippi media production. Pike County, here comes your morning show. Dave in the morning on 93.5 FM, SuperTalk Mississippi.
So now, understand, you're not going to dictate to me what I do and what I don't do, but I'm still the mayor, Mr. Brown.
None of this meeting is recorded. None by any parties. Correct?
No, sir, mine is recorded. I'm being accused.
Any conversation.
Said I want to make it on record. I want the allegations in writing, or the accused, or on recording of this harassment.
And now, here's your host, Dave Hughes.
Hello to you on a Monday morning. How you doing? Dave Hughes here. Beautiful day. Okay, it's overcast. Work with me. It's a state of mind. It's an attitude. We've talked about this. Every day is a beautiful day if you think it's beautiful. If you think it's lousy, every day is lousy. And we need to spend more time thinking that every day is a beautiful day. It improves your life. It does. This has been your fluffy, fuzzy self-help moment. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Hope everything went well for you and yours. If you didn't enjoy that weather, I don't know what to do about you. At this point, that was very nice all weekend long. The temperature was great. The everything was great. We kept the highs in the low 80s for most of the weekend, especially yesterday. A little bit warmer on Saturday. Got up to about 86, 87 degrees, and that was it. Aside from that, high temperatures 81, 82. Yeah, we'll take it. Now, for my personal preference, I like it just a hair cooler than that. You give me high temperatures in the 70s, we're in business. You just stick it in the 70s, about 75, 76, keep it there. I'm good year round. Now, we've gotten the good stuff out of the way. There's no bad weather on the way. That's not a lead-in to explain how horrible things are going to be. We've got a very slight chance of rain today and tomorrow, and after that, sunny skies all week long. We're going to get up close to 90 by the end of the weekend, but that's it. Considering that, just a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about it was going to be close to 150. We will most definitely accept that as something to celebrate. What I was talking about is, now that I've told you need to think about how everything is positive and have a positive outlook on life, now we go back to last week's board meeting audio. As you know, the Hurricane Franny played havoc around here. We had a couple of days, Wednesday and Thursday, we were not able to be with you. So as a result, we missed out on time talking about last week's board meeting. On Friday, we did cover the discussion of the budget. After increasing it last year by $1 million, the revenue missed that mark by $1 million. Probably a lesson to be learned there, right? Well, there is. They only increased it by $344,000 this time around. Because, math is subjective. 2 plus 2 can equal so many different things. We've seen that before. We've had that told to us in regards to the educational system in America and the way the liberal mind approaches it. 2 plus 2, if you tell somebody 2 plus 2 is 4, that's racist. They've actually said that out loud out in California. It makes people feel bad that they got it wrong. Well, sometimes you're stupid. That's everybody, me included. That's the way being a human being works. That's also the way the budgeting process works in the city of McComb. Well, we got, we came real close. We came within $1 million of reaching our revenue target this fiscal year for that $1 million increase on the budget. We are so close. So close. But since we didn't make it, we're only going to increase it by another $344,000 this year. Since it was flat for this year, basically, that means now we need to come up with an extra $1.344 million for the coming fiscal year. Has to come out of somewhere. Thin air. So that was the discussion on Friday. We had the audio. You can go back, listen to the podcast version. Just go to supertalkpikecounty.com and you can find out all you need to know about that, including a list of the episodes on there. And you can hear that for yourself. It's right there. Today, we have something that happened earlier in the meeting because there has been some discussion about the McComb School District and the school board and how they're doing things. Selectman Cotting had some questions. And in his capacity as a sitting selectman, he sent a letter to the McComb School Board to ask some questions. Somebody had a real problem with that because, well, they don't understand how letters work. No, seriously, you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's dip our toe into the audio before the break.
Number 16, consider approving a resolution approving levying an ad valorem tax for 2025 tax rolls for the city of McComb City and McComb School District. Can I get a motion and second? Selectwoman Isaac, second by Selectwoman Bailey. Discussion.
You can get a minute.
Selectman Cotton.
What level of tax are they levying versus what the city levies?
Okay.
Sorry, it wasn't on the work session last week.
All the questions always come back to money.
In the resolution,
They have to.
page 21, again,
So what is the city levy
46.84 million.
in the school district?
School district is 64.30 million.
So we pay 50% more of our taxes to the school district than we do to the city of McComb.
It hasn't changed. Answer your question is yes.
I love that. So we pay 50% more to the school district in taxes than we pay to the city of McComb. The answer? That hasn't changed. Oh, so it's always been this bad. That makes me feel better. Thank you. Thank you. Great. Okay. Question answered. You never get an answer to a question. Never get an answer to a question. It gets very annoying.
So I got the opportunity to talk to the school board last night, and a bit concerned about what I'm seeing down there. You know, my friends at Weyerhaeuser have told me that the Ethics Commission has came down to visit them to interview one of their employees, which is also at the on the school board, which is highly concerning. About, I don't think ethics comes to visit you at work unless there's a serious ethics violation on the horizon. They
You would think.
have taken away at least 10 employees' pay, upwards of $28,000 a year. That board arguably has a $72 million budget last year, $52 million budget this year. We're looking at our budget. Okay, it's not that big. It's probably altogether kind of 20 million-ish. That is a big board. Big board. That board controls the economic development engine of the city of McComb. In the same year that it appears that they lowered employees' pay, they also passed a new administrative scale that raised every administrator's pay.
We're going to stop it right there because it's time for a break. When we come back, we're going to pick it up exactly where we left off and continue through this conversation. Let you hear what happened last Tuesday night. Selectman Cotting went and spoke to the McComb School District School Board. He's relaying some of the things he found out, but the kerfluffle is coming. Don't worry. We are not, I hereby declare it, we are not kerfluffle free this morning. We will fluffle all the curs when we come back here on SuperTalk, Mississippi Pike County 93.5.
We're from the country and we like it that way. Dr. Romance for Selman's Jewelers. For 75 years, Selman's has served the wonderful folks of this area with fine quality jewelry, watch, and giftware needs. From natural and lab-grown diamonds to baby goods, silver jewelry, and much more. Selman's Jewelers on Delaware Avenue has worked hard to provide you with quality, service, and value. Come see us today. Layaways and financing available. Selman's since 1945.
Don't miss Dave in the morning, even when you miss it the first time. You can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have a break. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page.
North Pike football is back. It's another exciting season of North Pike Jaguar football on SuperTalk Mississippi Pike County 93.5. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A, Toyota of Brookhaven, Ag Up, Exhaust Pro, Southwest Mississippi Regional Medical Center, Peterbilt of McComb, and Lot Furniture. It's North Pike Jaguar football on the air at 93.5 FM. Available online at supertalkpikecounty.com and through your Alexa devices.
You'd find me indispensable. I predetermined destiny. That place is you with me. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wanting you here in the sheets.
Welcome back. SuperTalk Mississippi Pike County 93.5 on a Monday morning. All right. Let's wade right back into the situation from last Tuesday night's board meeting of the McComb City Board of Mayor and Selectmen discussing the McComb School Board. And Selectman Cotting with some concerns he had. He went to the meeting. He spoke to them about his concerns. Perfectly valid move. Any human being can do that lives in the McComb School District with zero complaints. Apparently, the big problem was he put it in writing. We'll get there. Just give it just another minute or two.
There's administrators getting paid more than the superintendent. There is, from my count, there was at least 6 over $100,000 a year, possibly more. This community has been very strong historically that the school board needs to ensure that we are not top heavy. That has been a complaint from this community for a very long time. And our recent school board made it worse. I think we need to get really serious about this. We've asked for the minutes from the school district, and they don't seem very transparent about it. They're in executive sessions for hours every week. We need that transparency from our school board, which is our largest economic development engine we have in this town.
And the biggest recipient of tax millage. Don't forget that. He just brought that up a minute ago. The tax millage for the city of McComb itself is in the 40s. For the McComb School District, it's in the 60s. So, yeah, a little transparency, probably not the worst idea.
And from what I'm hearing from the state, we went down a grade last year, while our friends to the north went up a grade. Okay? The divide is happening. We are so close to Summit being the economic engine of Pike County and not McComb. They have more restaurants in downtown than we do now, which I find ridiculous. We got to look in a mirror about this and make sure everything, this is the direction we want to go.
Amen. That's my commentary on that. Been saying that for how long now? Been drawing the comparisons between McComb and Brookhaven for how long now? How are they going up and we're going down? Well, we need to root out the cause of that and fix it. It's plainly apparent in the sales tax revenue. Those numbers don't lie. I know numbers are very fluid. They mean whatever you want them to mean. No, they don't. A 2 is a 2. 6.8 million is a lot higher than 6.2 million. And the other way around. I'm sorry. We lost that battle several years ago. We reported on it month by month in real time here on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5. You and I sat here and watched. Remember, it was a big event. We talked about it when Brookhaven, for the first time, beat McComb in monthly sales tax revenue because it had never happened before. McComb was the retail hub of Southwest Mississippi. No longer. And again, you're going by sales tax revenue, which is based on the amount of dollars people have spent in stores. That's the textbook definition of how's your economy doing. So, yes, I think Select McConaughey had some good points there.
Select moment.
Okay. Mr. McConaughey, you wrote a letter to this McComb School District with all of our name on it. You gave them a letter saying from McConaughey, but all of our name was on it. I think that was so disrespectful for you to go to the school with a letter, but you didn't even bring to the board about how you was gonna go over there and give them a letter from the school, from the board, the city board. That was very disrespectful of you. You didn't consult Mr. Nobody. Did he consult you? No. Did he consult you, Mr. Mullen? Did he consult you? So I'm saying you talking yourself speaking on behalf of the city of McComb, but still you talking about them. Like this right here, they was graded different. But still, you're not talking about, you said you went over there and you spoke to them, but still you gave them a letter. I have the letter. Let me give it to you.
Oh, we're just getting started. Brace up. But let's take a moment before we go into this. If you get a letter from an organization, you get a letter from, I don't know, Blizzard, the company that runs World of Warcraft, the online multiplayer role-playing game. And somebody there an upper-level executive, that's a good comparison to a sitting selectman on the board, they send you a letter that they sign at the bottom. Only their name is on it, and they sign it. But the letterhead that they use, the official letterhead from the company, lists the CEO and the president and everybody else down at the bottom at a certain level or above. You've seen this before. Sometimes it's up at the top, right below the name of the company. That's the way letterheads work. That's the way they've always worked. There has never been any confusion about whether or not the letter came from everybody at the company or just the person that signed it. Never, until now.
The letter that you gave them. And I think that is very disrespectful. My name is on here. Terry Baylor's name is on here. Bruce, all of our name is on there. We haven't even sat down and had a meeting with you to discuss this matter. That was very disrespectful. You still doing what you want to do. And you talking about them, but what about you? Now you talking about them, but what about you? And I think that's very disrespectful. Very. And I'm not going to take nothing back I'm saying. You talking about them, but what about you? You're not holding yourself accountable.
Ma'am, you sound ridiculous, and I mean that sincerely, and I ain't taking back nothing I said. I'm just asking questions. Really? This is the best we got. This is the best we've got to offer. Now, let's go back to the question just a minute ago about how Brookhaven has pulled ahead of McComb in retail sales, which is people spending money, and said, we got to figure out what's wrong. We literally have people making decisions for the city of McComb that don't understand what letterhead is. Have you ever seen a report, a news report, any kind of report, where a letter was sent on company letterhead and there was a big problem because everybody that is in charge of the company was listed at the bottom? So obviously it came from them, not the person that signed it at the bottom. Signature, name typed. Anybody with 2 neurons that are still firing on a semi-regular basis understands who the letter's from. This is sad, this is ridiculous, and this is not over.
I find it very alarming that our select woman at this board cares more about the use of city letterhead from a city official than about ethics violations at the school board. But I understand where your priorities are, select woman, and I believe that it is perfectly fine for me to use city letterhead as I sit in this seat.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes. 100% yes. This is absolutely ridiculous.
It's not okay because you saying my name on it. I didn't agree with you on nothing. They didn't agree with you on nothing. Matt Cotty is still doing what Matt Cotty wants to do. That's what Matt Cotty like doing. You are not representing all of us down here. We didn't give you the okay. No, we didn't. We did not give you the okay. Ask Terry Baylor that she give you the okay to put her name on the letterhead. Ask. Man. You're not representing. You cannot speak for us. You are not the spokesperson. You are not the spokesperson for this city, for this board. You went there with that, hey, I can do this right here. You're not the spokesperson. You are not.
Did you ask anybody before you started this ridiculous rant in your high-pitched, screeching voice that you have raised to a ridiculous level, because that's how we show emotion, is by yelling? Did you ask anybody that you're mentioning before you went on this tirade? Did you get their permission? Or are you speaking on their behalf? Which is wrong. No, it's wrong when Selectman Cotting supposedly does it. He didn't. But it's not wrong when we're fighting for justice. Oh, shut up. You want to know my opinion? There it is. Shut up. Nobody is impressed. This is embarrassing. It's humiliating. And it is not helping build the city of McComb in any way, shape, form, or fashion. It's not. This is not productive. This is not conducive to a good business environment. This is not anything that will attract anyone to come spend 1 red cent inside the city of McComb. So what's your point? What are you working towards? What are, as Selectman Cotting said, your priorities? I want to be offended. I got 2 words for you, boo and who. They go in that order because I don't know what it would be the other way around. It's boo-hoo. By the way, we're still not done.
Mayor, if you want to legislate the use of city letterhead, more than welcome to. Let's legislate the use of city letterhead.
But who wrote the letter? It say Matt Cotton. None of us didn't sign off.
You're right. It says
okay,
Matt
that's
Cotton.
okay, but you see my name is on here, right? So like I said, you're always going to be disrespectful to the board members. And you told the time you want to point a finger at them, you need to point one back at you. You are very disrespectful.
I think on behalf of every right-thinking person, I will say the following word. What?
Please legislate the use of letterhead in the city of McComb. It really bothers you.
It bothered me. It also bothered not only me. Actually, it bothered them.
Legislate it then.
But you know something,
make the rule.
you know something? You need to make the rule. And then like this person, you also said about the appointees. You're not the only one appointed them. We all appointed them, but it's none of us complaining. They have their body, what they decide to do, and we have our body, what we decide to do. We need to respect what they do, and they respect what we do.
So you're okay with citizens, your appointees, possibly committing ethics violations?
But you might have committed an ethics violation. Oh yes, you did, because you represent 2 different things. You said you were speaking for your ward, and then you also spoke for all of us. So that might be an ethics violation. We didn't give you permission to send a letter out with all our name on it. We did not. So, okay, Matt.
You don't have the right to tell me what I can and can't do regarding sending a letter. Okay?
But you call yourself representing all of us. Oh, yes, I can. Oh, yes, I can. You cannot speak for me. You cannot never speak for me on my behalf.
The next time, I really need to save that audio so that the next time she goes on some rant about being disrespectful, I can play for her the person in charge of the meeting by Robert's Rules of Order, banging the gavel, telling her to shut up and her not caring. That's not disrespectful? Yes, it's disrespectful. She doesn't care. She makes it obvious with little tirades like this. Nothing matters to her. Other than, I found a way to get offended and distract everybody from the excellent point you're making, Selectman Cotting. Got to figure out some way, no matter how ridiculous it sounds, no matter how blind to the way everything on planet Earth works it is, I'm going to figure out a way to accuse you of what you're saying somebody else is doing. Why? What's the motivation here? I don't ask what's the point. There isn't one. It's a motivation. She's trying to accomplish something with this, in my opinion. I would love to know what. Why is she so determined that the City Board of McComb have zero oversight over the McComb School District? They appoint the board members to the McComb School Board, and then they're just supposed to pat them on the head and wave as they go off to do whatever the heck they want to do. Is that the way we treat all of the appointees, all of the people appointed to positions by the City of McComb Board of Mayor and Selectmen? Is that how that works? You appoint someone and then, well, you're off. We're not going to call you on the carpet. We're not going to pay attention to what you're doing. We certainly don't want to know if there's signs of anything going wrong. You just go off and don't you dare anybody question it. Got that attitude about the police chief? About the fire chief? About anybody that was appointed by the board? No. So until you can sort out how to have a standard way of dealing with appointees, or at least understand the basics of how a company letterhead works, maybe be quiet about it. Well, it's my thought. I'm just asking questions here. It works for everything, right? Well, then I love this. You heard after that, right towards the end there was a conversation about, let's legislate the use of letterhead, which is exactly as ludicrous as it sounds. So after the mayor finally got control of Selectwoman Isaac, thought he was going to break the handle on the gavel before she quit, it was the mayor's turn to speak.
I think I've tapped on this table 2-3 times trying to get some water here. Understand, I have talked to the city attorney in reference to this.
I would like to point out, by the way, I've always found this interesting, not just with city board, but with everything. When a lot of times when people are delivering news they don't want to deliver, they start talking real low. They're not forceful at all because they really don't like what they're going to have to say, but they say it that way. And that was partially a calculated move by the mayor to offer contrast to what we just heard. He went in the opposite direction. But put it like this. I've got this audio boosted 8.5 times above what we were just listening to with Selectwoman Isaac, and you still have trouble hearing him. I understand that, but it is boosted 8.5 over what the other audio was. So when we say, well, I'll put it like this. I will eliminate the boost. How about that? I'll eliminate the boost and let you hear in comparison what it was. Because remember, this came right after this in the meeting. This moment, whatever you want to call it, right here.
But you might have committed an ethics violation. Oh, yes, you did, because you represent two different things.
Okay, that's what we just heard. Now, at the same exact volume level, this is what the mayor was saying.
I think I've tapped on this table 2-3 times trying to get some water here.
Yeah, so let's put the boost back up so everybody can understand or come closer to understanding what was being said. Back to 8.5. Here we go.
I think I've tapped on this table 2-3 times trying to get some water here. Understand, I have talked to the city attorney in reference to this because she brought it to my attention. And I asked the city attorney in reference to whether or not a letter should go out from a select person on the general stationery. And I'd like for him to share what he shares with me.
Because I'm going to let him give you the bad news, Selectwoman Isaac.
Well, this board had made a decision as it relates to a particular thing and sending letters on behalf of the board. It cannot select any select person here can send a letter in their regard for their office anytime they pass it. But if it's represented as a board, it is a board action. We have to be careful about it being represented as a board action.
I agree, 100%. It's signed Matt Potting, not the City of McComb board.
But still, all of our name was represented on there, so I feel like it made it look, it was misleading to the public that it was from, a board action. So that's how I feel, and I'm not going to take nothing back. Because like I said, we did not sit down here as a board to discuss nothing Matt Potting did.
I know you couldn't hear it, but the board attorney, Marcus, who I have no doubt, I have zero doubt in my mind, he is so done with all of this. Not just this issue, just in general. You had to go get a legal opinion whether or not a sitting selectman could use government letterhead to send a letter to a group of appointees of the board on which he sits. You had to bring a lawyer into it to try to settle it, which did nothing. You notice that. We now have an official legal opinion. You couldn't hear what Marcus was saying. Basically, he said, if it's going to represent an entire board action, yeah, that's going to be a problem. But any selectman can send a letter on official letterhead. That's why you heard Selectman Cotting go, I agree 100%. It's signed Matt Cotting, not the board of mayor and selectmen. Anyone, once again, anyone with 2 neurons that are still able to fire can get that letter, read it, get to the bottom, and say, oh, this is from Matt Cotting. Wait a minute, let me look at the letterhead. Oh, it's from all 8 of these people. No one with any sense thinks that. And again, 100% my opinion, I truly believe Selectwoman Isaac doesn't believe that. This is just a way to stir up nonsense in a desperate bid to stay relevant and try to redirect the conversation because she doesn't want anybody casting a bad eye towards anything. Except her. It's my opinion. But sometimes in doing that, you can go to the extreme where you make yourself look silly. And that's where we're at with this discussion.
You're more than welcome to feel how you want to feel, but the situation is we are one board. We are one team, and that's what it is, okay? I completely agree with you. If I would have put Tabitha Isaac Felder on the bottom of that would have been completely irresponsible of me.
It's still irresponsible for you to put my name on here still. My name shouldn't have even been on this letter. Like you represent the city of McComb.
You have the same right to that letterhead that anyone else.
But you know something, you thinking you the spokesperson. We have so many people who want to be the spokesperson. The spokesperson for the city of McComb is the mayor. And that want to be in charge of everything. That's how Matt Cotty want to do.
Matt doesn't have time to be in charge of everything. Okay.
Are we ready to vote? Call for vote.
Okay. Levying of the taxes. Any other discussion about levying of the taxes? Not. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it.
I would just like to point out that was almost a textbook example of what is called an ad hominem attack. What that is when you attack the person, not their stance on policy or issues. A lot of times it's because you don't like that person. A lot of times it's because you don't like their stance on policy or an issue, but you can't attack it because you know they've got a point. Everybody knows they've got a point, but you can't say that and you don't want to say that, so instead you attack them directly. There was only one person sitting around that table who maintained that a reasonable human being would look at a letter on official city letterhead, which lists the mayor and all of the selectmen, and think the letter comes from everybody there when it is signed at the bottom, Matt Cotting. That's not a reasonable expectation. But no, we had to go ask the attorney, can a selectman send a letter on official city letterhead just because he's an elected member of the city government? Meanwhile, Brookhaven, they're moving on up. They continue to grow. They continue to improve. They continue to see increases in their sales tax distributions. Meanwhile, the city of McComb isn't. But this is what you want to spend your time screaming and yelling about? People are getting gunned down in the streets on a daily basis. Sales tax revenue is moving downward, not upward. We're being beaten by cities within 20 miles of us but we want to make sure everybody understands what letterhead is. I can't put my finger on what the problem could be.
Well, we're moving on up.
I just can't figure it out. It's a mystery. We may never know. What's next? She's going to ask who licked the stamp? I mean, where does this end? Wait until she learns about text messaging. That's going to be a whole different explosion, I have no doubt. As a selectman, you're texting from your phone to somebody? Well, you shouldn't be representing me like, oh, be quiet. You're not helping. You're doing the opposite of helping. You want things to get better? Try to make them better. Don't throw a fit in a meeting because you have scrounged around and scraped up a reason to be upset. By the way, the fact that that's what she settled on is what she was going to be upset about. Haven't seen it. But that tells me that was one heck of a letter sent by Selectman Cotting with a lot of great points because she couldn't attack any of them. I know that because she didn't. Instead, we got what you just heard. What are the problems in McComb? Well, I leave that as an exercise for you. I'm tired and I'm getting a headache. We continue on this Monday morning. Right after this, keep it here.
We're from the country and we like it that way. Dr. Romance for Selman's Jewelers. For 75 years, Selman's has served the wonderful folks of this area with fine quality jewelry, watch, and giftware needs. From natural and lab-grown diamonds to baby goods, silver jewelry, and much more. Selman's Jewelers on Delaware Avenue has worked hard to provide you with quality, service, and value. Come see us today. Layaways and financing available. Selman's since 1945.
Don't escape in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. Super Talk 93.5 is always the place to be. Want to get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all around, it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Weekday mornings at 6 after 9 on 93.5 FM, or you can catch up anytime by going to
SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave in the morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. Catch up and catch on. North Pike football is back. It's another exciting season of North Pike Jaguar football on SuperTalk Mississippi Pike County 93.5. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A, Toyota of Brookhaven, Ag Up, Exhaust Pro, Southwest Mississippi Regional Medical Center, Peterbilt of McComb, and Lot Furniture. It's North Pike Jaguar football on the air at 93.5 FM. Available online at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com and through your Alexa devices. Welcome back. Super Talk, Mississippi Pike County, 93.5. Changing topics because, again, desperately fighting this headache off. Little update, not quite an hour ago, from the folks over at Pike County Civil Defense, just letting everyone know that MDOT is making another bridge move in Pike County. The Delaware Avenue Bridge, of course, reopened. They did a great job on it, I do have to say. Did a great job at smooth as silk, the gradient to go up and over that bridge, which is now higher than it was. You can't really tell. It was well done. Now, they're going to close the bridge that goes over I-55 at Park Drive. As you know, there's no exit there. But that bridge, you won't be able to go down Park Drive and cross the interstate. That is the next phase of jacking up bridges, because they're doing it to all of them, because one truck hit one bridge one time. Like to remind you. So they're going to close that Friday, this Friday, September 20th. And they say that it's going to take about 7 weeks to get it fixed. I am still, just side note here, I am still amazed. I had no idea. I am a noob when it comes to things like this. I had no idea that when they said they were going to jack up a bridge, they literally mean they're going to stick jacks under the roadbed at the bridge and jack it up. And then put supports under it. I had no idea that worked that way. But it does. It was fascinating to me. And as I said, on Delaware, they did a great job. No complaints there. But yeah, it's literally, while they're doing this project, if you missed it when they were doing Delaware and you're going up or down the interstate, take a glance at what they're doing right up under the bridge. They literally have jacks and jack it up. It's very cool. It's a little more complicated than that, but that's basically what happens. As a result of all of these plans, it's going to be first part of November before that bridge reopens, he said on September 16th, just to put all of this into perspective. So if you're used to going up and down Park Drive, you're about to not be used to that for about 2 months. Make your plans appropriately. I know some folks go back and forth on that road to get to and from work or relatives' houses or whatever. There are alternate ways. You're going to have to use them. That's just the way it works. So keep that in mind. And it's up to you as to which alternate route you would use. You could take the Fernwood exit, take a right, go west from the Fernwood exit, and then take a right down there, go past the entrance to Percy Quinn and get up in that area that way. That's one way. You could go down Enterprise Road and take a left on Magnolia Pisgah Road, and you'd wind up right out there next to Park Drive. There are many different ways. You could take the South McComb exit and just take a right like you're going to Liberty, but instead you wind up there at Park Drive. So there are ways to get there other than just going across the bridge on Park Drive to get from one side to the other. But go ahead and plot that out now and figure out what you're going to do, because Friday they're going to close it. And it's going to be closed for a couple of months. We have been told in advance, and thank you to Civil Defense for letting everybody know when it's going to close, and more importantly, about how long they're expecting it to be closed. It's good information to spread around. So I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that so that you can make your appropriate plans as to how you're going to deal with the bridge closure, because it won't be one lane at a time. No, the whole thing's getting shut down, just like it was on Delaware, which had no impact at all on sales for the businesses right there at the interstate. Oh, no, I'm sure they didn't notice. For people who don't understand complicated methods of communication like sarcasm, that was it. Had a huge impact on all of those businesses, but it's over now, and hopefully we can get back up and running at an appropriate level there. Luckily, there are no businesses, no exit there on the Park Drive, but they're doing this to all of the bridges in Pike County, 4 of them, I think, actually, that they're going to do this to. So we're even after this one, we're not done. We'll be about halfway done with this procedure when they finish this one. Why, yes, I am full of happy good news this morning.
If you cry out for more, if you reached out for me, I would run.
I don't get to make up what I talk about. We just talk about what's happening. That's why we play the audio from the board meeting, so you can hear it for yourself. You don't have to say, oh, Dave makes some stuff up. No, well, no, you just heard it, so. Final break. Let's get out of here for a Monday next.
Take a step towards you. Let me feel you in my hands. Let me cross this line and show you where it leads. There's a darkness down inside me that I know we'll both enjoy, and it's screaming from within to set it free.
We're from the country and we like it that way. Dr. Romance for Selman's Jewelers. For 75 years, Selman's has served the wonderful folks of this area with fine quality jewelry, watch, and giftware needs. From natural and lab-grown diamonds to baby goods, silver jewelry, and much more. Selman's Jewelers on Delaware Avenue has worked hard to provide you with quality, service, and value. Come see us today. Layaways and financing available. Selman's since 1945.
North Pike football is back. It's another exciting season of North Pike Jaguar football on SuperTalk Mississippi Pike County 93.5. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A, Toyota of Brookhaven, Ag Up, Exhaust Pro, Southwest Mississippi Regional Medical Center, Peterbilt of McComb, and Lot Furniture. It's North Pike Jaguar football on the air at 93.5 FM. Available online at supertalkpikecounty.com and through your Alexa devices.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, but just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave Hughes here. Remember, every weekday morning at 9:06, it's Dave in the Morning, where we solve the problems of the world, or at least complain about them really loudly and sarcastically. And if you miss out, you can catch up with the podcast version of Dave in the Morning at supertalkpikecounty.com.
Closing time.
That's it.
Open all the doors and let
Flat run
you
out of time. The
into
National
the
Weather
world.
Service in New Orleans just a couple hours ago put us at a threat level 1 out of 4 in southwest Mississippi for flash flooding. So have a great day. Make sure your bicep floaties are inflated and ready to go. Have a good day. Stay safe. We'll do this again tomorrow morning at 9:06. My friend, see you then.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.